Pina colada. Yeah, maybe we can get a tequila sponsor or something, if there's any tequila barons out there that are looking for a young band to advertise their project.
Yeah, well, you ought to try that, and you ought to approach some tequila companies.
Well, there's some great real ale companies and cider companies around there. I think we could be a good real ale band. People do like to drink when they come to see us. I don't know if there's any comment on the quality of the music, but the bar always seems to be quite busy in our gigs. So.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
Well, on tour we crashed into like was it a Canadian Brewers convention?
Yeah.
And basically we played a place in Ghent in Belgium called Ghent, and we've got a guy there who put us on a chance last time we were over there for a tour, so we went back there this time, and then he took us all out afterwards to his other bar, where he'd also got a convention of Canadian breweries, drinkers in there, and basically we walked in, performed Bohemian Rhapsody for them, and then became best mates forever. And they've got in contact with us, so you never know. They've said, "Oh, hi guys."
Well, I performed Bohemian Rhapsody means sing along to it drunkenly.
So there's going to be a cover of that on the second album?
It's the difficult
third album. We've pretty much got everything ready for the second album, at least in terms of what songs we're going to put on there. We're not sure where we're going to record it yet, but we're researching that option now. We've demoed it all live, so we've got a live recording, and we're just thinking how we can make it, for what resources we can bring in, how best we can use them, and hopefully maybe do it on vinyl or something like that.
Oh, cool.
Quite a package.
Was the last album on vinyl as well, then?
That's just on CD or digital, and if you like what you hear, you can still get copies at
plug it.
Yeah, sexyweirdos.bandcamp.com.
Right. There's also links on our website, which is sexyweirdos.co.uk.
Yeah, check that out.
And of course you can find us on Facebook too.
There's the advertisers. So are you all from Birmingham or Worcester or?
Yeah.
One of these. Well, one. Yeah.
I moved, well, this is my little life story. I moved around loads as a kid, ended up somehow living in Worcester for about 6 or 7 years, which is the longest I lived anywhere. So I'm kind of from Worcester if I'm from anywhere. But I've been living in Birmingham for about 4 years now, and I actually think for me, it's a really good place to live. It's good to be so close to Worcester, so I can go back and see my friends here whenever I want, but it's got a great music scene, people have got a great sense of humour. It takes a while to get the hang of it, but it's an alright place to live, I think.
Good. Right then, so gig-wise, did you say the next one down here is the non-stop?
Yeah.
Nothing before that?
Well, there's the Witchwood one, which that's in Cheltenham on Friday. Saturday we're playing the Hare and Hounds in Kings Heath, Birmingham. A night called Volcanic Eruption, which is it's like the longest running, bestest volcanic music night in the Midlands as far as I know. If you can think of any better ones, please tell me, because we want to play them. But Saturday night at the Hare and Hounds in Birmingham. That would be really good. Any others after that? I think we've got a couple of weeks off, haven't we?
But we are trying to. We're always trying to fill them, and we're always up for sort of last minute opportunities.
Do you go out listening to bands at all? Do you get the time to listen? Go out?
Yeah.
Who impresses you at the moment in the Worcester area?
In the Worcester
area. Jasper are doing really well at the moment.
Yeah.
I think I was talking to their new drummer came to see us at the Swingwajig, and he was telling just had a nice chat to him, and it was their album launch the other week as well. So that was a good gig.
I need to follow them up here. The bass player lives 2 doors down from me, and they were all in the car, but they were like chilling. They'd obviously been to a gig. I thought, and I was just thinking of creosote, but just painted the face. Weren't a good idea to put an approach on.
He's a bit of a stalwart, but I always, I've got to give a big thumbs up to Craig Asparry of the Retinal Circus. I think he's one of the most interesting songwriters around. He maybe needs a bit of help on the PR front, but he's got the skills. I don't think there's anyone around writing songs quite like him, so think of yourself, Craig.
Okay, let's go right back to the beginning. Earliest musical memory. Let's embellish it. It's usually
I know mine.
mega embarrassing.
No, you go first. So we get
I used to, my mum used to listen to Yazoo's Upstairs at Eric quite a lot, and I remember being about 2 or 3 and being able to find the song I liked on the groove on the vinyl, and then it was Don't Go, I think.
Yeah.
I used to just walk around the room and clapping times of that.
Something
And then also I had around that time, I don't know if you ever heard the musical, of the actual musical version of Tommy, taken from the film soundtrack. But there's the version of See Me, Hear Me on that. Mum used to turn it up really loud and then have that picture of Roger Daltrey with the goggles and he's got the thing in his mouth. It's a mirror reflection. It used to terrify me. As a kid, she used to blast it up because she said she could hear it over the hoovering. Just used to look at his face and be terrified.
Who's up next?
Well, I remember all my family quite musical, and my sisters, two older sisters, and one sister older than me. She was playing trumpet at the time. I was 3. I remember picking up a trumpet and having a little play of the trumpet and sitting in my back room, music room at home, and to my dad's karaoke machine. So yeah, that's probably my little first. It's not as exciting as Matt's and be terrified, but that's probably like mine, just picking up an instrument and being able to make a sound. Yeah, that's probably mine. Yeah.
Who's going to top Matt's then?
Well, memory's bad enough as it is. Things have been the last 5 years, but I'm pretty sure I've got a vague memory of having a toy guitar, like really young and breaking strings on it. In the car.
so hardcore. He's rocking out in the car, age 3. Mine. I can remember being in the front room, and I can remember my parents' record collection. I was very fascinated with the record collection, but I can't remember like a particular song or something that related to it. I'd like to think that it was David Bowie or something cool like that, but it was probably Elton John. Yeah, the Private Dancer album by Tina Turner. It's a massive person. Great guitar work by Mark Knopfler. Great return to form by Tina there.
I think that's almost Partridge moment there.
What about your first ever gigs then?
Well, the first cool gig I went to was a grunge band called L7 in the 90s, which was amazing. But my parents, I was one of those cool kids that got taken to festivals and stuff. So the first time I probably saw live music was either in church or at a Butlins type place, and it'd be a guy with a keyboard or something. But I thought it was amazing. Like every time I saw anyone playing any instruments, I thought it was the best thing ever. But carry on.
I thought you meant first gig that I played. My first gig was Reef.
I just need to first gig you played.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I was always wanted to be in a band and sort of had dreams of, I suppose, being Kurt Cobain. But then some friends of mine had got in a band and I was quite interested, and they were practicing one day for a gig they had that night as in between the orchestra and the jazz band at school.
Yeah.
And I could hear them playing, so afterwards I went up because they were practicing, and I went up and just to see how they were doing. And their drummer at that moment had thrown a paddy because he couldn't get the intro to Smells Like Teen Spirit or something. And my dad had started to play the drums during what may or may not have been a midlife crisis. And I'd learned bits and bobs from him. And so originally they tried to get me on the bass, and I didn't pick it up very fast, and then they sat me on the drums, and I'd sort of tapped out Teen Spirit before, like I was just sitting listening to it. And so I was in, and I had a gig that night in between the jazz band and the orchestra. I've got a video of it somewhere. It's awful. At the time, it felt amazing. Like, I remember running through the halls of the school.
On your website, mate.
Oh, I'd surrender that. Yeah, no problem.
What was the first gig you played, John?
It was. I was thinking about it today because Penny Royalty by Nirvana came on shuffle in the car, and that was the song I can first remember performing on my own at like a school concert and stuff. And funny enough, I was thinking, thank God there's no video footage, because it's much nicer to have the memory of it and remember doing it than to actually have the evidence of it. I think I wouldn't want to hear that at all. No. What about you, Philip?
Well, I can't remember first because I did brass bands. Like I started when I was a kid and then done it forever really. So I don't remember what the first one is. It would have been a brass band at a school somewhere playing like that, but I've done so many gigs of like brass music. It's a bit crazy, really.
Was that the Worcester area or Birmingham?
No, in Birmingham.
Yeah.
It's based part of Sandwell Music, which is a really good music place. But probably the first kind of band like this was I did one at school, and a junior school, and I went back and I joined a band called the Tika Ferrets, and I was playing guitar and singing, and we only ever did one gig because at the end we finished playing Smells Like Teen Spirit again, and it was literally just like one person, like the room was probably about 40-50 people, one person in the room just going, and I realised then I'm not a good singer, maybe I should stick to what I know, so I stuck to tuba. It's a lot safer, I think. That's probably mine. So,
and finally, John Joe.
Yeah, I think like Phil, it was probably, I can't particularly remember one event where I started playing, but it would have just been playing music, being wheeled out by other folks to play in front of my family or something as a wee kid.
Yeah. What's the best gig you guys have done so far then?
It's hard to tell because you get different ones for different reasons. I mean, the one where we played in rural Czech Republic, that it meant, like, even though there was only 50 or so people there, it meant a lot to me because it was like the furthest I'd ever played away from home, and it wasn't like the touristy part of Czech in Prague. It was like, you know, it was all people that couldn't speak our language and stuff, and to get accepted in that environment, to take it so far, that meant a massive deal to me. And then, you know, sometimes it can be a gig like that with 50 people that will just seem like the best gigs, and then sometimes you play to like a few hundred people or something, and it'll seem all right, but it can just sort of wash over you. Anyone else got any contributions?
I think that one at the end of the tour that we did in Luce, what's the accent for that?
It's right in Lille, basically.
Lille, okay, we're near there, and it just rounded the tour off really well. We got to this really unusual festival where there was a lot of really avant-garde things happening, like music made out of saws and machines that operated them, and very bizarre sort of circus sideshow attractions, which the story of which is too long and scary to tell on a podcast.
It's true.
So we were there, and we thought, I don't know, I thought personally that maybe we're not avant-garde enough for this, but got in the main room last night of the tour, suddenly, I don't know, 300, 400 people felt like in the tent, and from the word go, they were with us and just performed. So, you know, probably by that point we'd been playing every day for 2 weeks, and we were quite tight, and it just felt like a good finale to the tour. That was a good one.
mine was probably non-stop last year because we got upped a place. We were meant to be like on the Sunday evening, like kind of put on this little stage away, and we managed to get put on at 9 o'clock on Friday night on the main stage, and we were all kind of there. It was really nerve-wracking because that was probably our first biggest stage with that kind of magnitude that we've done, and and to have look out and to see all these people dancing with the sun going down, it was just that was probably
good time to finish that.
Yeah, that was
when the sun was going.
Yeah, we just ended up with the most perfect time and slot, and it sounded amazing. And and I got to lie on the floor in front of 1,000 people like that with Julie, which was quite amusing. So that's probably it.
Yeah, like Johnny was saying, each gig will have different reasons or whatever. I think for me, like, it was Czech Republic as well, but the first time we went out, it was only, we had this gig booked in Prague, and we travelled for like 3 days to get there, and it was like the first time we'd all been away in a van that we'd never been away in, and I just remember, like, basically as we started that set and just loads of people enjoying it, it was like, I think maybe just a sense of relief, or it's like,
He finally left England.
Could have exploded at that point,
Is there any other countries you'd like to tour?
Oh, all of them. Well, all of the ones where they're not really horrible to people with long hair.
I really like to do Bulgaria.
Further into Eastern Europe would be amazing.
We're talking about an African tour.
I would really like to go places that, Western musicians just never go. And I'd love to, but you know, we'll see how we get. See how we do.
I've got to mention this, terrible gigs. Have you ever done any terrible gigs?
Well, I
What am I doing here?
I've got a very clever tactic when I ask questions like this, and I'll tell you about the terrible gigs I've had with other bands. I was in, my first band was a hardcore punk band called the Penetrators, and we played at Edwards and Ember 8, which is now burnt down in Birmingham. And it was about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, but I was so drunk that I ended up like punching the singer and then emptying my pint over his head, and then he tried to start the song and slipped over in the beer, and I think after that they just pulled the plug on us. that was definitely an all-time low for me. Anybody else? John Jay had some quite good non-Sexy Weirdos bad gigs.
Like I said, my memory is pretty bad.
You can't remember playing in a nappy and throwing bread at the audience. Were you proud of that one? Was that the best?
Tell us, I don't know. It's good.
You know, it's good to be experimental. Experimental outfits. Yeah, the band.
Emphasis on the mental. Yeah.
The band that Johnny's referring to, that he forgets to mention that he did actually play in for one gig.
There was an egg-related incident.
But, yeah, we were the kind of band where it's like we thought that, you know, if the costumes get too elaborate for us to play our instruments, and obviously we just have to stop playing the instruments. So, and we had lots of strange adventures with that band. But yeah, I do remember one gig in Mansfield where the audience did just consist of one guy at the front rocking out to an empty room. me and my associate, as we should call him, both in nappies. Yeah. Making a lovely, horrible noise.
There's a form, John. Going to bring them back sometime?
Well, it's always been threatened.
Yeah.
But, you know, the universe doesn't.
Well, we started experimenting with taking our clothes off now.
Yeah.
You've done the calendar, haven't you?
The calendar, yeah.
Have you all done it?
Yeah.
We all stood naked together.
Was it tasteful?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the old grannies and stuff probably quite liked the image. It was quite friendly. It wasn't particularly.
And we're all, you can't say it now, but quite well built.
It looked less daft than I thought it was going to look. Actually.
Yeah. This is for the Worcester Music Festival, isn't it?
Yeah.
Calendar. Yeah. So have you had a copy yet? Have you sent a copy?
Yeah, we saw the shot.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. Yeah. It was a funny experience.
We've only seen it on like the back of a camera sort of thing, so
Yeah.
we can't really judge how good it'll be, but I'm sure it'll be wonderful.
Yeah. Have you got a favourite place you guys like to play?
Well, probably my favourite, like the Hare and Hounds where we're playing on Saturday in Birmingham is it's a great venue because it's like a big room, but a good room, great stage, great sound system in there, and the lighting's good and stuff. Hootenanny's in Brixton.
Yeah.
That's another favourite. Anybody else got any other favourites?
You said what I was going to say.
The Animal Sanctuary.
Yeah, the Animal
Really?
Yeah, there's an animal sanctuary down in Kent that we played for a couple of years, and there's a deer called Leroy who's tame, and like we were playing a gig in this really nice little marquee, and there's a big St Bernard with a load of dogs, and like so you're playing to the dogs as well. But it's a great little venue because you're playing to animals as well as humans, and all the dogs are staring at you, wanting to attack you, and yeah, that's probably my favourite venue. It's random.
Really look forward to playing Boomtown again this year. It's a festival rather than a venue, but I think of all the festivals that we've been to in Britain and whatever, it's by far the one that it's well,
What's the special about it?
They really pushed the boat out in terms of really assaulting the senses the whole time. So everywhere you look, there's little bits of art or installation people walking around doing things, and the acts that they book are just acts that I generally, you walk around and it's like, oh yeah, I really like that, really like that, really like that. And quite fussy, or like certain things, and they're quite basically book the bands that I like.
Okay, time for another?
Okay.
Yeah.
Do when the time comes, boys.
Yeah.
1, 2.